did call it, fam. I did call it. I said if anyone was gonna bite the big one, it would be him, fam. It would be that guy. It would be Gaja. After Black Clover chapter 299, I was proven correct, at the very least for the time being, regarding the death, the defeat, the utter L that Gaja would take. And I'm really curious, to be honest with you. I'm really curious, and I want you guys to fill me in on this in the comment section below. Were you emotional? Did you feel sad? Did you tear up regarding the death seemingly of Gaja in this chapter? I'll be honest with you, Gaja was cool. Like, he looked like he was kind of inspired by, like, character design wise only, of like Guts from Berserk, kind of like, you know, slimmed down version. Like, he was a cool character. I respect what he was doing. I admired that he was really all about Loro Pechica and things like that, so I give him, like, yo, kudos and whatnot. But in terms of like me being sad, in terms of like me crying, in terms of any of that, I'll just keep it real, I didn't feel it. And I'll just be honest with you, it's maybe because Gaja wasn't showcased that much. Maybe it's because the times we did see Gaja, it really wasn't an emphasis. Like, in comparison, right, a brand new character that I want to say had even less time of being in the manga. Like, Gaja was in here longer than Noct. Like, I felt for Noct. Like, I could have shed a tear for Noct. I can't remember if I did or not, but I know I was emotional regarding everything we got with Noct. With him, Gaja, it was like, yo, it's messed up. I ain't gonna lie, it's like, damn, fam, you know, it's really sad in a certain regard, but I wasn't like emotional about it. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm curious what you guys think. So definitely let me know in the comment below of like, yo, how did you feel about Gaja taking the L at the hands of Megicula, trying to rescue Loro Pechica? It was an honorable sacrifice, it was noble and all of that jazz, but yeah, for me, I wasn't feeling it. But we got a lot to talk about with this one, aside from just actually what happened in the chapter. I do think that something needs to be said about the Black Clover manga as a whole, especially after the last couple of chapters, chapter 298 and 299. Yeah, I think Black Clover needs to go on a little bit of a break, just a little bit of one. I'll explain, but without further ado, people, let's talk a little bit of that Black Clover greatness.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, so before we get into the crux of the chapter, something that I definitely wanted to talk about and had to note is that the last couple chapters, chapter 298 and 299, were both very, very short chapters. Chapter 298 was 11 pages and chapter 299 was 11 pages. And in case you don't know, 11 pages is extremely short for a chapter. Usually 15 pages is short, but 11 pages, I'm there like, what the heck is going on here? Now, we know what just happened recently with the author of Jujutsu Kaisen, how a part of it, aside from the health issues, was the fact that the author couldn't catch up to the work, kept falling behind and falling behind. That's why the author went on a month break, still on that break as of the recording of this video. And yeah, that's why Jujutsu Kaisen isn't back as of yet. I honestly think that Yuki Tabata from Black Clover needs the same. I think that he needs about a month's break in order to be able to catch up, because these 11-page chapters, while granted there's a lot more dialogue in them than usual to kind of make you feel like it's not a shorter chapter, they're only 11 pages, and that is extremely short for a chapter. I feel like he needs a little bit of time to recuperate, regather, and maybe even catch up, because these 11-page chapters for a manga in general, of like especially Shonen Jump, it's just really, really short. That's really, really short, and that's shorter than the norm. And usually when things like that happen, it's because the author can't catch up, is having issues catching up, and is having issues being able to deliver. And I remember back, I want to say it was sometime last year, when Tabata was throwing out 13-page chapters, he was saying, apologizing and saying he was sorry that he was putting out such short chapters. And then now he's put out 2 back-to-back 11-page chapters. He might be having issues. Maybe it was something to do with, I want to say recently he had like a bunch of color pages and stuff like that. Maybe that's what contributed to him falling behind or something. But whatever the case may be, I think Black Clover needs to go on just same amount of time as Jujutsu Kaisen, about a month's break, so that Tabata can get back on the grind. And I don't know, maybe that's just me. You let me know about that. But Black Clover chapter 299 starts off with Megicula basically telling Noelle, yeah, I screwed. Because she says, yo, the spirit dive that you had was your only help, or your only chance for that matter, and obviously you don't have it no more, and thanks to my decay, it would have been trouble to even hit me anyway. So basically, you didn't really have much of a chance with the spirit dive, and now that you don't have the spirit dive activated, you ain't got a slithering chance in hell to get me. So basically, Megicula saying that, yeah, you couldn't do it, which obviously it's manga, so you never know what the hell could have happened, but ultimately Megicula was talking that shit, and Noelle and them are down bad right now. And then that's where, for the majority of the rest of the chapter, it begins a full centered point on Gaja, his, attempts at saving Lord of Pachika, and how he's felt about all these things, because, yeah, that was basically, for the most part, what this chapter was all about. Because we see Gaja behind Noel there. He's pierced, impaled, because if it was last chapter, if I'm not mistaken, that the cursed and, deviled Lord of Pachika stabbed straight through Gaja and had him there looking like he was a shish kebab or something. And like I said earlier, I'm not even gonna lie, when we see him there and we get like the close-ups of, blood dripping down his mouth, it's messed up. I'm reading, I'm like, oh damn, this is messed up, but I'm not there like emotional. I'm not there like distraught. And again, like I gave an example earlier, somebody like Noct that was introduced fairly around the same time, maybe a little less time than, Gaja. I felt for him when everything sad happened with him. With Gaja, I don't really know why. I don't really feel for him like that. I mean, a part of me feels like, yo fam, he was just Lord of Pachika's towel boy. But in his last attempts, he tells Lord of Pachika, this won't hurt, forgive me, and he puts his hands around her face, and I'm like, yo, is he gonna give her like a smooch? Like, is he gonna try to go for the tongue action before it's all over? Like, Lord of Pachika, please, just give me a little tongue before it's all over. Oh, fuck. But he uses lightning magic pulsaranta, and he's like, bet, she can't move now. I gotta, give me that mouth. Oh, shit. But he says, no, this will keep her from moving for a few seconds, giving him enough time to do whatever his next move was going to be. And then God just starts reminiscing even further of, like, the last time 6 months ago, basically the chapters that we got from 2020, how he failed Lord of Pachika then, and how he's pretty much failed Lord of Pachika every time. Even though he's supposed to be, one of these spirit guardians and shit like that, he failed her the last time. He's failed her multiple times. She just got kidnapped. Again, the chapters from last year in the first bout against Vonica, he failed there, and he failed back when she got cursed and shit like that. He just has been failing all over the place. But of course, Lord of Pachika was so, just such a good, caring person that she was like, oh, it's not your fault, don't worry about it. Well, whose fault is it then, fam, huh? I mean, at the end of the day, he's a spirit guardian. One of his things is basically, he's supposed to be bodyguard to her and make sure she's safe. And I'll be honest with you, throughout the chapter when he's talking about like, oh, I'm not worthy to be a spirit guardian, all of the spirit guardians from the Heart Kingdom sucked. Like, they got their asses handed to them, majority of them to goons from Vonica. Fam, like, if they couldn't even take out Vonica's goons, they had no chance against Megicula. You struggled against the goons. So when they talking about it, when Gaja's talking about, oh, I shouldn't be a spirit guardian, all of you suck. I mean, at the very least, Gaja is a couple notches above all of them, but the rest of them suck. And forgive me if I sound like I'm coming across harsh, but like the spirit guardians have been somewhat disappointing to the point that they have more screen time in the anime than even in the manga. Like, the anime utilized characters that didn't really even do shit in the manga, and we're like, well, let's try to give them a little something there in the anime. But Gaja is destroyed at the fact that, like, Lordo's been forced into being this person that she don't want to be. She's a kind, caring person that don't want to hurt a soul, and because of his failures, ultimately she turned into this creature, this devil, and he feels unfit to be a spirit guardian, which, again, like I said, no, that's on mark, that's on brand for a spirit guardian. Like, yeah, taking the L. And he goes off on this speech, which this, you could argue, it's sad when he's like, yo, I won't let them hurt you, I won't let you hurt anybody, I'm not gonna die from this wound, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, maybe he's gonna do something great. Like, it's building me up as I'm reading the chapter, and he's, spewing all this shit. I'm like, okay, Gaja, he's gonna get the W right here. He's about to do something crazy, or something epic is gonna happen. It's starting to build up. And he says, this time I will save you, and uses an ultimate lightning blast, ultimate magic lightning blast. And I'm like, ooh, maybe. I didn't expect him to take out Megicula completely, but maybe he could do enough to, like, damage her, and something there could happen. I'm like, okay, let's see what's about to go down. Let's go. But then we cut to Noelle. She has, like, some surprised eyes. She's looked like she's about to go attack Megicula, which seems as though there was like a heart or core that she noticed. Kind of like, think if you're a Boruto watcher, like what we just saw with Boro in the anime and shit like that. Like, that's something similar that it seemed to be the case with Noelle. She noticed that there's a weakness to Megicula. Maybe the devils have that heart that, okay, boom. She was like, I can't do my spirit dive, but I can make enough that potentially she could have gone in and stabbed the heart and, got the W. Which, I'll be honest with you, I wonder if Megicula was complete, would that still be the case of, like, having that one heart that, oh god, it's the one part of their body that you get them. Like, if Megicula was complete, would that still be the case? Because that's just such a obvious weakness with a lot of villains. But as Noelle is about to approach, we see that Megicula is shrouded in mist, and Gaja looks like he's in a petrified state, similar to when Vegeta blew himself up against Majin Buu. He there looks like, I don't know if he's burnt up or he's stoned or what, but seemingly Gaja took the ultimate L, and I don't know if it was because of the lightning magic, he blew himself up at the same time, or what the hell it was. But yeah, Gaja RIP. It's sad to a certain degree, me, but again, I don't know. For me personally, I just didn't get emotional. And I'm curious what you guys thought of this chapter. How did you feel about Gaja, his sacrifice, trying to take down Megicula? Do you think Megicula's completely down for the count? Well, let's be real, Megicula's not. And when Lord of Pachika awakens, that's probably going to be the sadness. It's probably not going to be this initial moment with Gaja. I think the sad part is going to be Lord of Pachika realizing that because of her weakness, of what she feels is her weakness, her subject and the person that rocked with her the most, Gaja, had to die. Okay, I just want to be clear about something, just in case it's mistaken with all of my jokery and laughs throughout this video. Just because I wasn't emotionally impacted by Gaja's death, by no means am I trying to say that, hey, you can't feel that way or you're wrong for feeling that way. Absolutely, if you felt that way, if you felt emotional, maybe you resonated with it in a different light, because yeah, some people, they can resonate with something just because maybe the way it was set up or done wasn't emotional to me. Doesn't mean the next person can't feel that way, or doesn't mean the next person can't feel like, you know, they were in their shoes, or maybe you've been through something similar and it emotionally impacted you because it hit close to home. Whatever the case may be, absolutely, you are allowed to feel that way. I am by no means ridiculing anybody that felt emotional. I just felt like I had to add that in there because, yeah, I was kind of goofing off throughout this review and didn't take it a little more serious in terms of, like, I'm sure there are probably some people that may have felt the way or sad about Gaja and what happened to him throughout the chapter. I'm not saying that you can't feel that way. I'm just saying, me personally, I didn't feel it like I felt, like, again, with something that happened with Noct earlier in the arc. Just wanted to throw that in there. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the Black Clover manga with chapter 3. Oh, wow! Next week, next chapter's big 300. Looking forward to seeing what's that all about. Like, hopefully it's something huge. Maybe they're gonna do 300 with, like, having a big moment. Maybe Asta and Yuno are gonna show up and they're all gonna fight again. Like, something big gotta happen for 300. That's a very big deal. And also, do you think after 300 we should get a little bit of a break so that Tabata could catch up? Or who knows? Maybe it's because of the big 300 that he lacked on the last couple chapters so that he could work really hard and make 300 a huge color, all that jazz. Like, I guess we gotta wait and see. But yeah, Black Clover onward to 300. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And yo, Black Clover, I can't even believe it. Next week is 300. Just hit me right now. Let's freaking go.